Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time is public comment. Our first speaker is Mr. Phil Irby. Welcome, sir.
Good evening. Thank you, Mayor. I'll be quick, real quick here. We're inviting you to welcome over 200 to 300 combat veterans into Junction City at the Courtyard by Marriott for the Veterans of Foreign War Midwinter Conference in the state of Kansas. It'll be on the 12th of January at 9 a.m. that morning, Saturday morning. And we would like you to come out and welcome us there. 9 or 10 minutes, comment on the things that they can do on breaks here in Junction City. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Phil.
Next person is Mary Snipes. Please state your address for the record, even though we haven't written it down.
Oh, okay. Hello. I'm new at this. I'm Mary Snipes, and I got my husband with me, he's Willie Snipes. He doesn't like to talk in front of a crowd. And I have my son here with me who's transitioned. And I have individuals who, from my understanding, this is videotaped and is on the internet. So I have several supporters and individuals who are watching. And I want to thank those individuals who are watching. I don't know where the camera is at, but I want to thank those individuals that are watching. I am here to talk about a topic that is very dear to my heart, our heart, shall I say. Our son transitioned on August 31st, 2018, here in Junction City. And of course, we would like to thank everyone involved. Of course, Junction City Police Department, EMT, the fire department. Of course, it was a very tragic and very sad and hurtful part of our life. And it is still a very hurtful part of our lives. Of course, you don't know what it feels like if it has never happened to you. And of course, you hear so many things that go on around the world about so many shootings that have happened all over the world around the different communities. But when it happens to yours and when it happened right at your doorstep, it makes you want to talk about it. It makes you want to do something about it. And I have personally become a person, a mother of the voice of our son, Felix Andre Flex, a.k.a. Flex Snipes, and others who have been shot or wounded for senseless acts of violence. Of course, there have been many individuals, and we have seen them throughout the news, have been injured throughout our world. But of course, it's very hurtful when it has happened to your child, our oldest child. And we have 3 children. I have joined Moms Against Violence, and I'm working with them to bring moms a chapter here in Junction City. I've also am working with several agencies throughout the community in support of that, as well as several elected officials throughout the government community that are supporters of ours, who are also are mending together for common gun sense laws. And we are most definitely on board with that. Of course, I'm wearing orange tonight because orange is awareness for gun violence. And I did not know about that. This is something that I've learned. I've always learned about, of course, pink, breast cancer awareness, diabetes, you learn about all those other things. I did not know about wearing orange because that was something that the hunters wore because, you want to be known, you want to be aware not to be shot when you're out there in the woods. And June 2nd is a day as a day of awareness. So hopefully we can have a collaboration of that in our community, that we can have awareness, that we can have something here. And Willie and I are hoping that we can get something going about that. Of course, there have been 307 mass shootings so far that we are aware of. Again, for senseless and preventable gun violence, and our son was one of them. That I am aware of this past year in our city, there was 2 homicides, and Felix was one of them. We, as a community, Willie has been in this community since the early 70s. I have been here since the late 80s. And we have been so community oriented. And by our son's transition, and I'm not going to say death, I don't like that word, and I don't like passing. I've always said transition. The only good thing that has happened through that transition was that it brought the community closer together. And that's what Willie and I felt, because of the fact that it was so many individuals in this community that came together for Willie and I. When this happened to us, we did not know what we would have done without this community. We had individuals that came to us when it happened, and we were in Topeka. We had to drive to Topeka because he was airlifted with our nephew. And we had kids that Willie coached, because he's a coach at the high school, that drove to Topeka to be there with us and would not leave until we left. And we did not leave until the doctor told us that there was nothing else that they could do. So this community has been a support system, a encouragement, building stone for us that we thought we'd never seen before. So we want to continue to have that drive within that community to continue to go on. That is why I want to have something to go on for this community. When this happened to us, I contacted a big foundation to see what I needed to do. And this is a big foundation, and that foundation, the lady on the phone said to me, "What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do for you? What is it that you want?" I was very shocked. I was very upset, and I said some words that I'm not going to say because I don't say those words right now. I told Willie that I want to have something in our community that if something happens to another family member, they don't have to go outside of that community to get help or assistance or someone to talk to. I don't want to dial a 1-800 number to have another family member to know what they need to do. If it wasn't for individuals in Manhattan that I got in contact with and contacted me with other individuals, if it wasn't for Coach Randall Zimmerman and his wife, Connie Gallentine, Penwell and Gable, the funeral home, Willie and I would not know, Central Bank, we would not know what situation we would be in. So we do not want another family member to go through what we had to go through.
Ms. Snipes, you have the sincere, deepest condolences to you and your family. I know quite personally that I've seen you guys at many events throughout town for many years since I've been here. We appreciate all you do. There is nothing that no parent ever wants to go through to what you guys have experienced recently, and you have our heartfelt sympathy. And if there's anything the City Commission can do to help you, let us know. We are supportive of your efforts.
Thank you.
Public comments are normally restricted to 5 minutes, but you had a great message.
I went over? Oh my goodness! See, nobody told me a time.
Nobody
told me a time.
We were happy
I told
to
you
listen.
this was my first time here.
You spoke
Nobody
from the heart,
told
and
me
we
a
were glad
time.
to listen to you.
See, they said I was all right.
You're just fine.
But what I want to know from you guys is, what is it that you guys can do? What is it that we can do as a community? What is it that we can continue to do to make our community safer, to live in, to be free, to be, that we can, as individuals, that we can go into and in a store, we can go and feel safe, to go in a church, to drive safely in a car and not feeling like somebody's going to give us a road rage or whatever. What can you guys do?
That's a great question. I will defer to my colleague over here. That was a great deal.
No, you're going to pass it over to somebody else.
Smart. That's why.
Obviously, I know that the police department has the chaplain program is one thing, and obviously other resources with Pawnee Mental Health, and that's because, you know, we went through this when we lost an officer back in early 2000s, Alex Johnson, when he was killed in line of duty. That was a very trying time for the police department, too. And I want to express my condolences to you and Willie also, Ms. Snipes. I've known Willie for almost 35, 40 years. And
don't give out his age, please.
it's just been a long time. I even used to live over at Willie used to live over on East 6th Street. I remember that. and as many, many years ago. And I just want to express my condolences. And I
Thank you.
think there are resources within the city to help with this. And I think any advice you can give to Chief Breesy, maybe the chaplains program, anything about what we can do better would be very much appreciated, because not very many families have gone through what you've gone through.
It is a societal problem.
Yes.
It is not a Junction City problem. It is
Well,
about,
we don't know that yet. There's only been some incidents,
there have been many incidents throughout this country.
but we don't know when it may hit us.
No, we don't.
We
We
not.
don't know.
You're right. You're right.
We need to be prepared.
Agreed.
We were not prepared for this. We don't know if it may happen to you, to you, to you, to you, to you. We didn't know it was going to happen to us. That's why I'm here tonight.
We appreciate you raising that awareness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it so much. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Willie.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to our consent agenda.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or comment? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, or all opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Commissioner Albritton is not here this evening due to our work. Our next item is special presentations. Presentation regarding the Junction City Empowerment Program by Rhonda Whitaker. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. This is my first time as well, and I pray that I stay in the time frame that I have. I'm not sure
Just
what
fine.
it is. Okay. Wonderful. As you mentioned, I'm here on behalf of the Junction City Community Partnership, actually, in its empowerment program, A Bridge to Restoration. The Junction City Community Partnership, before I get into a little bit about why I'm here tonight, that slide there talks about our mission to empower individuals and families to live a victorious life. But before I get into our presentation tonight, I want to read a little something about why we're here and what's taking place. Hello, my name is Jane Doe. I'm currently an inmate in Mitchell County, Beloit, Kansas. The reason for my letter is October the 25th, 2018, I'm being released, and I will be in Junction City with nowhere to live. I'm seeking information about any organization in Junction City area that could possibly help me prior to being released. I'm not from Junction City. I'm normally from Salina. My children reside in Chapman, so that's why I'm here. That's why I'm moving to Junction City. Salina is a really bad place for me, so I cannot stay there any longer. So I guess I'll tell you a little about my situation. I was married for 13 years. I have 3 wonderful sons. Well, my husband left me, kicked me out, leaving me homeless, carless, and hopeless. In this process, he did everything he could to ruin my life, including putting crazy charges on me for theft, which is why I'm in jail right now. When I get out, I will not be on probation, but I will be a stranger in a strange town with no house, no car, no job, basically a recipe for disaster. I have no family, no friends, no one but my children and God. I need help. I've been homeless for about a year now since Tri-Rivers illegally evicted me after the divorce. I'm getting to where I feel hopeless, but I'm a fighter, so this is my fighting. The reason for my letter is to ask if your organization could help me prior to me getting out, so I have something lined up. If you could please help me, if you could please write back, and please let me know if there is any organizations or anywhere that can help me, I'd be so grateful. Thank you for your time. The Junction City Care and Plays, as you know it, is closing its doors in December of this year for the old way of doing things, and it's reopening in 2019 as the Junction City Community Partnership and its empowerment program. This program is focused on helping individuals and family reach their full potential, and that's why I'm here tonight, to give you a little bit of information about our program and ask for some help. As we're aware, and as we've heard tonight, Junction City is growing. There's a need. We have major concerns within our community. Some of those concerns are poverty, homelessness, and hunger. Human trafficking has recently been added to that. Here, what we're looking at is individuals that have been dealing with different situations and traumatic events, as we've heard tonight, different disasters, unemployment, addiction, homelessness, and reintegration, as this young lady mentioned. Well, the Junction City Community Empowerment Program and the Community Partnership is here to respond to those issues. We're here to provide safety and trust. We're going to develop that relationship of safety and trust so these individuals, as they come through our program, they will know that there are individuals there that's going to help them walk through their situations, their social and economic situations that they're facing. We're going to build relationships with them. Through our strategic intervention plan, which is called the Empowerment Program. Through our program, and that E should be over there next to that U there, but through our program, we're going to rescue these individuals. We're going to meet the needs. We're going to rescue them. We're going to restore them. Most importantly, we're going to develop those relationships that they're going to need. We're going to bridge the gap. What does that restoration look like? Where we're going to connect them to service providers within our community. So that as they've gone through those different situations in life, they're going to be connected to the individuals that they need to be connected to so that now there's someone that can help them cope with those situations. We're going to connect them with church and ministry organizations within our community so then that way they can be built up spiritually as well. Community programs to help them to deal with different situations like drug addiction, alcohol, substance abuse, whatever it may be. Our empowerment model, what it looks like, when they come through the door, we're going to receive them, and then we're going to connect them to resource advocates. Those resource advocates are then going to connect them to the resources that's available here within the Junction City area. We're going to connect them to mentors. Mentors is going to walk alongside these individuals and families to where they will not have to go through these situations alone, but they're going to have someone that's there that's educated to be able to help guide them through the program. So then that way they're not going to feel alone, and they're going to be able to be connected and walk alongside them so that as these individuals are going through our program, they're not going through it by themselves. They're going to have someone there to help them. We have a spiritual wholeness aspect of the program as well. That's where local church pastors and ministers are going to come in, and they're going to provide a 30-minute sermon while we have a fellowship dinner with them. And these individuals, as they're in that as they're at the fellowship dinner, they'll have an opportunity to connect with the local churches to see if these churches are somewhere where they want to start attending. We also have an education aspect, and that education aspect consists of different life skills as well as spiritual development. And once these individuals go through that entire program, they have an opportunity to graduate. We'll have a graduation ceremony. This is a 12-month program that they're going to be going through. What does it look like? Well, when we receive them, we start that relationship. We take a basic intake questionnaire. We start learning as to what it is that they're coming to our partnership program for. Then we connect them to the resource advocates, and they're going to foster that relationship. We're going to dig a little bit deeper, and we're going to find out if it is, what exactly is it? Is it substance abuse that's causing them to have their difficulties, or if it's unemployment? The mentoring, men and women of our community are involved in building the better relationships with these individuals, and most importantly, strengthening that relationship. This is a program that I personally was involved with in Topeka, with the Topeka Rescue Mission. And I was instructed to bring this program back here. And so that's what I'm doing, because I believe this program is effective. It works. I had the opportunity to work with a lot of individuals that went through the program, through the Topeka Rescue Mission, and those individuals graduated through that program, and then they came back to help their community, but most importantly, to help other individuals that were struggling just as they were. How are we going to do it? Community partnership. And we're hoping that the City of Junction City will be a partner with us in that. Service providers, local churches and ministries, community programs, local businesses, health professionals. We're looking for the local businesses to develop an internship program so that as they go through our programs, we connect them with those businesses to where they can do an internship and get job skills to help develop them, because many of them have jobs that don't have the job skills or haven't kept up with the job skills, but through our program, they'll be able to do this. And that's why we're here tonight, is the spiritual wholeness. Because at this time, we're needing a facility to be able to host our fellowship dinners. And so we're asking the City Commission today if you could consider providing a facility for us to host those fellowship dinners, fees exempt, to help us help our community. And again, as we talk about our education, we have vital life skills to change lives. Marriage and relationships, job skills, parenting, health and wellness, computer skills, financial management, life choices. Many of these individuals that we have been working with throughout the year, they're in their situations for the wrong life choices, but through our program, we're going to educate them on those things. Any questions for me?
What was your request regarding a facility for meals, or how often, numbers?
We're looking at the second and fourth Tuesday of every month. And now, like I say, it's a year-long program. So we're talking about 12 months.
Like a small place, or I mean, what are we looking at size-wise?
Whatever you all can provide for us. I do know that the program is going to start out small, but I based off of the responses that we've been getting in this year, because this particular letter, we've had multiple letters like this. I do know the program is going to be growing.
You know, we
Evening meal or?
It'll be an evening meal, yes, sir.
little facilities. And we have
From
another
about 6 to 8.
We have
Yes,
another
we're aware
program
of
here,
them.
and this program is off to a rock, and they're on the agenda here in a second, but they're off to a rock star start. I mean,
Yes,
I'm totally impressed by their numbers, and
and we're aware of each other. Yeah.
good. I mean, I don't, if we can create some synergies, let's just get this creative.
Absolutely.
because
That's what we're talking about,
You
partnerships.
guys both got great missions, and I'm not, doubting that.
I have a question. The 12-month program, like it starts at a certain day, or are you going to be having people that started at different increments because of maybe their situation?
The 12 months will consist of from February to actually December of next year. And starting in January, what we'll be doing is that we'll be getting the individuals as they come in, and they're going to be going through their intake process, and we'll be taking them through what is called their SMART goals. We're going to be developing SMART goals with them, and as they develop their SMART goals, after they've gotten that completed, they then will be connected to the resource advocates. As you said, as they come in, will we be starting a new one? We will, because we know that people are going to be coming in at different times and at different stages. And what we do, we have online services that will be available for those that come in at a later time, to where they can go back and catch up through the modules.
Like the kitchen area at 12th Street or?
Is Tuesday night a problem, Ed, out there?
I'd have to check.
We need to, yeah.
That place is busy. We're keeper full.
Yeah.
Spin City.
We may have another, we'll be in contact with you, or Tammy has your contact, so,
Yes.
I think we help find a place. I mean,
We're supportive.
How about the place that you're going to leave? Is that the Caring Place now? It's going to go away?
No, actually, the Caring Place, that's where our hub is going to be.
On 8th
The
Street, ma'am?
Excuse me?
On 8th Street?
Yes, sir. Our hub is not changing. That's where our hub is going to be. But unfortunately, like I said, as we grow, we're not going to have the room, because I did not include the new outlay of the program itself, because we're going to be bringing in even more people, because we're going to have individuals that's over the educational aspect, over the career services. We're also going to do an end of the year Christmas program as well, to where these individuals, as they go through the program, our main goal is to where we're no longer handing out resources, but now we're building these individuals up and we're empowering them to be able to provide for themselves. Because what we see is that within the Junction City area, we're wasting a lot of resources because some of these individuals, they're bouncing from place to place to place to place. And what our desire is to hopefully get everyone partnered underneath one hub to where we're no longer wasting those resources, so that we can come together collectively and then we can empower these individuals to where they can then come out, go, leave, and graduate and help our community.
I'll have talk with staff and we'll be in contact. Maybe have some for the next meeting here.
Okay.
I think it's exciting. We've had two, and we'll have one other here in a second that are really trying to bring quality of life issues to this community. I mean, Mrs. Snipes and along with you and everything else, and to really make this the caring town that we know it is, but to put the next step. And
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for having
we'll be
me.
in touch.
Yes, sir.
You have her
Thank you.
contact, Tammy? Mm-hmm. Yep. Locked in.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item is the appointment of Sheila Burdette to a 3-year term on the Metropolitan Planning Commission.
Mayor Landis and Commissioners, of course, she served when somebody quit the Planning Commission last year.
Forced to.
Forced to, okay. And she's done, I have to hand the people that we've appointed to those committees, and she's as good as anybody. She shows up every meeting, takes active role. I'd recommend reappointment for a 3-year term.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve 3-year term for Sheila Burdette to serve on the MPC.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or comment? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next item is new business. Consider the request from the Breaking Bread Group of Junction City Incorporated to extend the use and waiver of fees at the 12th Street Community Center through the calendar year 2019 on Friday evenings.
Good
Welcome.
evening. Hello. We're back. We haven't left yet. Two things actually on the agenda that I had requested was just to kind of update you guys on what we've been doing at the 12th Street Community Center and our meals. To date, there have been 9 Fridays from October 5th when we first started till this last Friday. We've served over 1,000 meals. That includes on the Friday right after Thanksgiving, because we weren't sure if we were going to be here. We just did to-go bags, basically. So it had, meals with snacks in them, so they could have them for whatever time frame they wanted over the weekend till the next Friday. So that includes those meals as well. We did have just a great community group come in just this last Friday, and they gave a nice, generous donation. And things are going well. So we would like to request, if you are willing, and I did speak with Donna Swihart before I thought I'd ask for your permission and make sure it was okay with her, if we could possibly extend our Fridays with the fees waived. Now, I do understand that if people want to rent the facilities, that's fine. We're willing to, maybe change up a date, or maybe we'll just serve meals in the parking lot for the people that are interested. A lot of the people that do attend are children, middle school age, some high schoolers, but we do have some young ones that come in even on their own. Staff does let those children come in if they've been banned from the facilities, but they know they're hungry. They let them come in to eat, and they take their food home. A lot of the kids will come and ask for meals to take home to their parents. But we do see families. One of the youngest we've seen is 2 years old, just had his birthday on the 30th. So, but I think we're doing a good job. And Rhonda and Doug, correct? We did meet them, and it's something that we are definitely interested in collaborating with them on the life skills training and some of the things that she mentioned too. So another big community thing going on.
Well, you're doing great work.
Yep.
We really need more and more people like you guys and Ms. Whitaker and your crew. I think it's tremendous. I'm definitely in favor of this.
We're excited about it.
I can't wait till we can do the life skills and the
Yeah.
helping, just get people more involved. I know with the weather the way it is, we are going to look at talking to the kids to get their parents requested whether or not they would let us know when. If I know occasionally that the center will be closed because of the bad weather, so we'll just try and figure out if we can get meals to the individual people, families then.
And we have noticed a lot of organizations have contacted us and started volunteering with us. We've had the 4-H group from the high school, the junior ROTC from the high school, the Junction City Young Professionals. We've been contacted by a lot of agencies, and it's kind of exciting to us because it's pulling the community together, and a lot of people are getting involved. So it's been a very good outreach for us, and it's what we wanted to do. But we've seen just an overwhelming response from the community that has really been encouraging to us. So thank you guys for getting the word out to everybody, because it seems like the word's spreading pretty fast.
And the food's delicious.
Yeah.
Food is pretty good.
I make a motion that we approve the extension of use and waive of fees for the 12th Street Community Center to Breaking Bread through calendar year 2019.
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Keep up the good work. Next item is consider a request to solicit bids for the demolition of the property located at 404 North Webster Street. Mr. Carmen?
Mayor and Commissioners, as you just stated, we are here to ask permission to solicit bids on this property. The time has elapsed. No repairs or anything have been attempted or even made at this property. It had boarded up about 2 months ago, waiting on today to move forward. I still have not received any calls from Mr. McMillan at all. So that we are asking to solicit bids for the property.
Questions for Mr. Carmen?
No.
Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve to solicit bids for the demolition of the property at 404 North Webster Street.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You too. Next item is consideration of the award of bid to Interstate Glass Company in the amount of $31,485 to remove and replace the existing ridge cap and skylight panels at the municipal swimming pool. Mr. Lazier.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. Real similar project to what we had at the municipal building. Over the summer, we noticed we had some leaks in the pool roof. Got up and looked at it. It turned out to be hail damage. Not the whole roof is damaged in this case, just the top 4 foot or so, which is the skylights. The asphalt shingles are fine. The inspector or the adjusters found nothing wrong with those. So just like the municipal building, they requested we go out and get bids. We contacted several roofing companies where we started and really couldn't get anybody that even wanted to do it. So then we kind of looked into the Jayhawk Glass, and they finally were able to submit us a bid for the $31,485. That's the $2,500. The deductible is all that the city is responsible for. And we'd get moving right away on this because it's not like the skylights are like a 2-piece, the top piece of glass and the bottom piece. So we can tear the top off and not compromise having an open building. It's just the top, the skylights stand up off the roof like 6 inches. And so the top portion's what's broke.
Is it glass or is it plexiglass?
It's plexiglass, polycarbonate.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably pretty dated too. It's probably been there a long time.
The original stuff.
Originally, so it's
Yeah, from the 80s.
definitely served its purpose.
Lasted a long
And this one of these items here, is a question from one of the commissioners, says, why put on agenda? Well, we're spending $31,000.
Exactly.
Granted, only $2,500 is city money, deductible, but again, I think it's our effort to keep communication open with the commission as well.
We did.
Questions?
Make a motion to approve the award of bid to Interstate Glass Company in the amount of $31,485.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lazier. Next item is consideration of the change order number 1, increasing the cost by $1,778.19 for the K-18 West Trail Lighting Project improvements.
Mayor Landis and Commissioners, this came from Carl Valley. This project was spec'd similar to the project on the, remember that the trail from the walking trail is actually two projects, specifically different. As we got on the west side, of course, we had to wait on KDOT to give us permission. As they went through the process, KDOT made some comments of changes that had to be made that were, and everybody says, why different than ours? Because it's on KDOT right away and they make the rules. And so we have additional change orders of $1,778.19. You're playing on their grounds, you got to play their game. It's just kind of the way it goes. So.
Well, everything looks great over there.
It really does.
Yeah.
Tremendous project. It was
Two
a
projects
long
together,
time
and
coming.
we add the next project that's coming on to the further east that we bid in next spring. We really add a lot of quality of life issues to this community.
Questions?
Make a motion, we approve change order number 1, increasing cost by $1778.19 for K-18 trail lighting improvements.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or comment? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Next item is consideration of the ordinance in G 1233, adoption of the 2019 water rate increases.
Mayor, Commissioner, this is simply to raise the rates according to the Raffatellis study. Attached and as part of the packet is what they recommended for rate increases that looks like this. It's just simply sticking to the recommendation. The change would go into effect with the new calendar year.
We made a average guess for an average residential water use. It increased, and I'm talking average here, not my household, 'cause mine's higher, $2.30 a month. We've moved, as you know, we're almost done with phase 1. We're getting ready to look at phase 2 and phase 3 of the water plant projects. We now have the funds available to address some other water infrastructure needs in our community. We all know that we have old lines in town, and I always said the one thing you know about a 70-year-old water line, it's 71 years old next year, and it just gets older, they don't get any newer. So this has given us the funds. The plan that was developed by Raffatellis and accepted by the commission back in 2014 is a plan that really moved this community forward. Our water rates, our mine, are still in competitive across the state. A lot of people always like to compare water rates, and you'll get this when we raise this, is simply you have a couple of issues here. First of all, your water rate is strictly equated to the amount of water, the kind of water you're sitting on. If you're in Western Kansas, top of the Ogallala Aquifer, water's cheaper. Here we have to do a little different. You do it. If you lived in Southeast Kansas, where you have surface water, these are low rates, and it's just the water that you're dealing with. Plus, now we're also making a good effort to make improvements in our plants. And water is the one thing we do that affects every citizen in this town. I mean, quality water. I mean, we have great police, great fire, great ambulance, but water is really a key issue. Quality water for our community and having it when we want it and need is so important, and we're able to now move programs and do it.
When do you expect to have plans for the stage 2 and stage 3 stuff as far as projecting what total costs are going to be, and how far do we need to go all the way out on this plan that Raffatellis developed?
I'm not sure yet because we're about a little bit over halfway through it now.
I know that study did not take into any account on distribution. That was the plants only.
Yeah.
The stage 1 was just the critical needs.
I think we're going to have money available to take a look at this and address those needs. We, as you know, we did a contract with HDR to start the phase 2 and 3. They've met with us on a couple of occasions. They're going to be making recommendations. We'll tie some recommendations along with Call Valley. So I'm guessing we'll have a plan in place by mid-year next year. A lot of design issues. We're going to modernize what we're doing now is going to take care of a lot of issues for the next 40 to 50 years too.
Right.
And that's what we want to do because that's basically what we've written on anyhow. So Yeah, well, I think we're moving right along with him.
Any questions for staff?
Make a motion, we approve ordinance G1233, the adoption of the 2019 water rate increase.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or comment? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Underhill?
Yes.
Commissioner Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mayor Landis?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Motion carries 4-0. Next item tied into that is consideration of ordinance G1234. I'm going to say that very often. Adoption of the 2019 wastewater rate increases.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is the same thing, except it's for wastewater. Also noted on the memo, it's the approximate average household cost increase would be $2.80. Again, in line with the recommendation by the Raffatellis study.
You know, the wastewater side, you know, our rates are going to be maybe a little higher state average in this area here. I'll admit that. Again, not every community is the same. You know, we release our wastewater into a major river. Yeah, Republic over here, and then Smoky Hill, of course, becomes Kansas just a few minutes later. What we do with water and how we treat it, and the levels of EPA levels we have to meet in KHC requirements affects a lot of lives downstream. For quality of water and everything else, and those requirements. And sometimes we sit there and say, "Oh, those requirements are getting tougher all the time." But you know, we can just look northwest of us, nothing to do with wastewater, but we have a lake and the blue-green algae issue, and you know, we want that to stay clean too with what's coming into the lake, so we don't have this problem. So it's a trickle effect we have to do. You know, we did the 6% increase per year basically in this study here. Another community, a couple hours west of here, decided to raise their water. They had to raise their sewer rates because they had some to do. They just literally went ahead and said 40% one year, 40% next year, pulled the Band-Aid off and went with it. And both approaches, I don't know which one's better, but, you know, you still got to have funds to move forward these. You know, these are systems that have to be in place, and we are, what we send out into the river has to meet certain qualities, and that's not going to get any lesser, and I'm not sure if we want it any lesser either.
Questions for staff?
I make a motion to accept ordinance G1234 as presented.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Underhill?
Yes.
Commissioner Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Mayor Landis?
Yes.
Commissioner Brown?
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Next item is consideration of the 2018 budget amendments. Ms. Miller?
Yes, Mayor and Commissioner, this is to amend the 2018 budget to give us the budget authority under the designated items, which is capital outlay, water capital improvement, wastewater capital improvement. Basically, there were some of the projects that carried forward from last year into the current year, and they weren't included as part of the budget, so we just need to amend those numbers to be within budget approval.
What we need to do this evening is set a hearing for the next meeting. Because we have to have a public hearing on these, so we need a motion to send this to publication to set a hearing at the next meeting and then approval at that time. Budget amendments do not affect the 19 budget, just simply some budget items like the capital outlay, for example. And it was way a previous finance director handled it, and nothing wrong with what she did. The project did not get done last year. It got done this year. When you did the budget for this year, you didn't know that it was going to get done this year. And that's what a lot of budget amendments are. And it's been the big capital projects, you always don't know what year they'll fall into. So basically what we need tonight is a motion to send this to publication.
And set a public hearing.
Public, which, yeah, all the same.
Make a motion to move the approval of the 2018 budget amendments for public hearing?
Publication and public hearing, yes.
Yeah.
Which will be December.
Second.
Oh,
Go ahead.
you got it.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or comment? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Consideration of a one-time addition of December 24th, 2018 as a paid holiday for city employees.
Mr. Mayor, Commission, City staff, it's been a strong year fiscally for Junction City, in large part due to your leadership and guidance, but more so on the backbone of the nearly 240 city employees that we have. This year, we have the opportunity to provide them with an additional paid holiday at minimal expense to the city, setting a strong precedent for not only that it's a great place to live, as my wife and I recently chose to make Junction City our forever home, but also is a great place to work. So we ask that you take this consideration forward, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
We did this 7 years ago, back when we were having
Financial trouble.
we had lots of trouble, and we had staff that we had on leave for a little while because we couldn't pay the bills.
Or furlough
So we
days.
used this as a method of thank you. So we greatly appreciate what city staff does every day. You guys make the city go. We don't do much. You guys do the work. So we appreciate everything you do. Anybody else? Is there a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the addition of December 24th, 2018 as a paid holiday for city employees.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion or comment? All in favor of the motion, respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Mr. Comments, Commissioner Underhill.
MPO met last week. They're helping with some of the trail projects that are going on here in town and helping with KDOT and funding and all that good stuff. So that's a good meeting. Chamber Board meets next week, so I'll have something about that then. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Brad.
There is no Flint Hills Regional Council this meeting this month. I know Commissioner Underhill was kind enough to attend the last one for me, which was quite a meeting from what I understand. Went from 9 o'clock to 1:30, which is unprecedented. Usually in Louis from about 9 to quarter to 12, but
I
it was
wonder
to
if you knew that was
1:30.
going to happen.
Yeah.
Had a few things to talk about,
Conveniently left
apparently.
that part out.
And my daughter got married, so I had to go to Indiana, so
Flimsy
kind
excuses.
of a last minute thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't have anything.
Thank you. Vice Mayor. Don't get carried away.
Nicholas isn't here tonight, so I get his, I'm just kidding.
There's another point, ma'am.
I know. I'll be very, very quick. I just wanted to say, and I feel like we all believe the same thing. As long as my husband and I have lived here, which is over 20 years now, this is our second go-around because we were brought here by the military right before Desert Storm and everything. But what we have seen and what I feel all the time is what a great community Junction City is. There's a lot of great people here, a lot of caring people, and it's very evident this evening, and really almost every day it's very, very evident. And I know we all definitely appreciate the community and the citizens that live here, and that'll take me down to my next path, is we also definitely appreciate all the city employees, because we know how hard you guys work for us. You know, you help keep our streets clean, the trash picked up, and lights working and everything. And I know it's cold outside when I'm out, so all y'all that work outside, I'm glad you got gloves and everything. And also, I know people love to volunteer. People want to volunteer, they want to be involved in the community, and I see that every Saturday. So I'm very appreciative of that. I will say that I do chair or sit on the Military Affairs Council. We have a meeting coming up on December the 13th. Probably a short meeting. It'll be our last meeting for the year. Our new MAC director, he is on board now, so he'll be getting more involved in the military affairs with our community in Fort Riley and the surrounding Flint Hills region, so we are glad that he's here now. This Friday is an important day for Junction City. We have our second annual Hometown Christmas. It's going to run from 5 until 9. It's centered around the Opera House, the J.C. Little Theater, the Bartell, the Dorothy Bramlage Library. It's a free event for you to come out to, free carriage rides. You can see Santa at the Bartell. You can see all the artwork that the local children have been doing. It's going to be on display at a couple different places. The Opera House will have singers there, the Gary County Children's Choir, the Junction City High School singers, and a bunch of other events going on as well. The Little Theater have a winter wonderland outside, so if you want to come and take pictures with the folks that are in character and costume, please do. But a great time will be had, so I hope you come out and enjoy that. And then the following Friday and Saturday, the 14th and 15th at the Opera House, is the 1st Infantry Division Band free concert, 7:30. So all in all, again, great community that we live in, and lots of great things going on. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the Parks Department and Public Works for all the things you did for the parade and getting City Park squared away. The Heritage Park looked tremendous. Great crowd for for Santa to turn the lights on Friday night after the Thanksgiving. I thought you guys did a great job. That night I kind of tried to get people revved up about shopping local, spending your money locally, and supporting a lot of jobs here. I'd also recommend that people give local. Most of us, a lot of us just, we have more junk than we know what to do with. And I tell family members and in-laws and whatever, give $50 or whatever, give it to the animal shelter or something like that here in town, Breaking Bread, this group over here. There's so many things that could use your funding and make a real difference in this world. You don't need another sweater or a game, and you can get all that junk anyway, and give something that can really do some good. It can make a big difference for someone. So shop local and give local. That's all I have. Mr. Tinkle.
Thank you, sir. Follow that a little bit. Last week there was an announcement. I do have the opportunity to serve on the board for the Geary County Foundation that was started last year. Now with the merger of Central Charities, I think there's going to be some exciting things happening next year with the foundation as far as maybe a match day to help groups in our community raise more money. So learn more about the Community Foundation. I'm just on the board. Calvin Popberg is the president and way better in details. We started out becoming part of the greater Manhattan area. It does not make sense. It makes sense to be working with somebody that has $90 million invested with different foundations in the 10-county area and pay them a small amount rather than have a foundation office here and spend all that money on overhead and administration and instead give money back into the community. Community foundations, one of the goals is everybody should leave part of if you made money in this community, as you move on, transition, if you can leave money back to your community, it'll perpetuate everything that's happening here. Great stuff. This Saturday night will be the Glitz, the Healthcare Foundation. I think the 28th annual Glitz, and hopefully we're going to clear the $1 million mark.
Do your job.
Yeah.
No, you have to help me do my job. Make me look good, Mr. Mayor. Make me look good.
It's a lot of work.
Make me look good. Yeah.
Pack a lunch.
Okay.
Keep
Okay.
hitting.
Good stuff. I did attend the first meeting tonight, with the introduction of the school superintendent candidates in town. I'll get to tomorrow night. I have to miss Thursday night, but getting out there, a nice crowd as we try to move that phase together and how we can partnership is great stuff. We are going to have a meeting with the district, a few of us, staff, and a couple of government members to start talking about the agreement with the school district on the new high school project. They submitted an agreement to us, and we're working on that. We'll work something and bring something to the commission ultimately. I did stick Rusty with agenda item. I think as an intern, I want to teach him all we can, so he took the agenda item. Do want to we're going to keep Rusty around for a while, but Rusty's last day in military was today, so publicly, and we've enjoyed working for the last month or so, but 16, 17 years of service to this country, and good to have him work with us for a little while here. We'll get some projects going.
Thank you, Rusty.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rusty.
Congratulations.
Mr. Stites?
I have nothing at this time.
Ms. Miller?
Nothing.
Ms. Milton?
December 15th, Saturday, is the Junction City Wrestling Club's home tournament. So that's going to bring a lot of people in town, shopping here hopefully, and eating in town. So usually starts about 8 o'clock, ends around 3, and it's a really good tournament that moves really smoothly. So you guys are welcome to come stop by and see how it works.
At the high school.
Yes, at the high school.
Great, thank you. Chief Reese? Chief Johnson? Mr. Ibarra? Lazier? Mr. Groom?
Nothing, sir. Thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much, and good night.